What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding, and today is a leg day. It's been a while since I've posted a leg workout on Vintage Genetics, but a lot of people have asked, and of course I have continued to train my legs to try and fix the weak points. And that's exactly why I'm doing the hamstrings first. So this workout was a little more hamstring oriented. So I start out with the hamstrings, and I really like this laying leg curl unilaterally. As you can see, I'm able to keep my body pretty flat on the platform, on the bench. And usually if you use two legs, the weight goes up so much you are forced almost to use the glutes and the lower back a little too much. And that's exactly what I don't want to use during this movement. I only want to use what I want to train, which is the hamstrings, to completely isolate those and really make them grow. Here you can see a little better that the hamstring is under constant tension. I go all the way down, stretch the hamstring, and then go all the way up for a maximum contraction. And the only true way to do this correctly is on a laying leg curl, or of course a standing leg curl. But to me, the stretch on a laying leg curl is much better than on a standing one. It actually has been proven that the lying one actually targets more muscle fibers. So right here you can see that I'm really using the hamstrings, which is what an isolation movement is all about. Use the muscle that you want to work without using any other muscle. Of course, you're always doing a little bit of calves right here, so it's almost inevitable to work the calves a little bit, but who doesn't like bigger calves? They can never be big enough. And then here is actually an exercise that a lot of you guys suggested to me before. I've been doing them for a couple of weeks now consistently, the Nordic curls. And you know, watching this from the side, I could have stretched a little bit more, but trust me, this is a very heavy exercise, especially when you're not used to doing them. So I can do the first couple of reps without assistance, but then it becomes so heavy that I have to use my arms a little bit to push me off the pad. So what I try to do is on the negative part of the range of motion, I try to do without any support, and when I go upwards, I try to push myself upwards when I can't pull myself up anymore, because you don't want to strain the hamstrings too much. I actually feel a little nudge in the right calf right now because I trained this exercise quite intensely, but I have to admit I haven't done this exercise for a long time yet, but it feels amazing for the hamstrings. You can really, you know, it's hard. You cannot really isolate this one. At least you really hit the calves with this one as well. But the contraction you get in the hamstrings is beyond amazing. You don't use the glutes and the lower back at all compared to the hamstrings usage right here. So trust me, try it out. I personally am trying it out on the hyperextension machine, but it's also possible to try it out on the lat pull down bench, little seat. The lat pull down seat, you can actually use it and then use like a big ball or a stick to push yourself upwards again. But to me, this is a great way to also do it. There are some other techniques, but I don't like to waste time setting something up. So this is quick and easy, and it gets the job done. So next time I'm going to try and stretch out even more. It depends on the setting on this hyperextension, of course. But trust me guys, you don't want to do this expecting it to be easy. If it feels easy to you, well, you're not doing it right. But I do weigh quite a lot. I actually weigh almost 120 kilograms, which is like 265 pounds right now. So that was quite a lot of weight to put on the hamstrings. And of course, there is no leg workout complete without doing one of the classic compound leg movements. And I really like the hack squat. I purchased this one a couple of months ago. It was quite the investment, but well worth it. It goes all the way down and all the way up even for me, because I'm quite tall and can use it really well. It feels pretty heavy. The platform is big enough as well. Right here I'm doing a wide stance. That means I'm also hitting the inner thighs, because I can get a great sweep, but to really get some 3D effect on that leg mass, I simply need more inner thigh. So I'm creating that right here by having a relatively wide stance instead of having my feet closer together, because the closer my feet will be together, the more of the outside of the quads I'll be working, and the less the inside of the thighs I will be working. And you need big inner thighs to make them look massive on stage, especially when you're quite tall. You want to minimize the gap in between your legs to give off the illusion that you have bigger legs, because you can have a lot of mass in the legs, but if you don't have the adductor muscles and you don't have the hamstrings, it still won't look as impressive as if you would have had big inner thighs. So this is one of the heavier sets right here, 140 kilograms. Every single hack squat is different, so this weight might seem light to some people and might seem very heavy to others. It really depends on the machine and the angle that you're pushing with here, but I really love the smoothness of this exercise, and I really love the constant tension it puts on the leg as well. I go as deep as possible, and I'm using the belt to stabilize my back and to stabilize the ab region as well, so I can go as deep as possible while focusing purely on the legs. Alright, next up is the lunges, some weighted lunges. I prefer to use kettlebells. You could use dumbbells, of course, if your gym doesn't have kettlebells, but we actually, well, my girlfriend standing right there, the official owner of the gym, purchased a lot of kettlebells in a very big order to improve the gym a lot more for the members. And the kettlebells go up to 32 kilograms each right now, so that's exactly the same as it would be holding 32 kilo dumbbells, except the grip on kettlebells is much more easy to hold, so you won't have to focus on the grip at all. You only focus on the steps that you make. The reason that I don't have a bar on top of my traps instead of holding onto this weight is I feel like I control the movement a bit more, keeping a better balance, holding weights to both of the sides of my body. That allows me to stay a little more stable, because there's always risk carrying a big barbell on your back, and if you then fall, you're pretty much screwed, and you cannot really go wrong here. You can really go to failure, and the moment you go to failure, you simply drop the kettlebells and do a couple more steps. So this is an amazing exercise that really works the glutes, the hamstrings, but also the quads, so it's a full compound exercise for the legs. Alright, the final exercise for the legs, specifically for the upper legs, is the leg extension. I like to do this pretty much every single workout, either to warm up the knees or the quads, or to finish them off rather, and that's what I'm doing today. I've been focusing a lot on the hamstrings and the inner thighs and the glutes, because that's really the weak points in my legs. The quads, of course, can also get bigger, but compared to the hamstrings, they are more developed. So I'm finishing them off right here with the leg extensions. And what I like to do is I watched Tom Platz do these leg extensions in his videos, and what he does is he goes up very high. And when you go up very high, if you notice, you can see the little striations, the little cross striations near the knee of my leg right there. And you develop those much better, and you develop more detail in the leg and a better contraction if you go up as high as possible. And it also eliminates you picking a weight that is too heavy, because then you cannot go all the way up anymore. A lot of people do half reps here, and you shouldn't do that, because that puts a lot of stress on the knees. And look at this. This is set number 4. No, these are not half reps, because I can't do the weights. This is a 21 set. So I'm doing 21s right here. 7 reps at the start of the range of motion, 7 reps at the end of the range of motion, and then 7 complete reps to really finish off the quads, get them full with blood. Because hypertrophy, to me, is a combination of going heavy combined with a good pump, flushing the blood into the legs. Alright, next is the calves. What I found to be even more optimal than other calf exercises is doing them unilaterally. This allows you to really focus on the contraction and the stretch of each separate calf muscle. So if you have small calves, or if calves are a weak point for you, for me they're a strong point, but I notice because the muscle is quite big, the difference in performing exercises. So if I use two calves at the same time, I cannot get a contraction as deep as I can get doing it unilaterally like this. So I'm going up all the way, feeling the deep contraction in the back of the calf, and then going down as much as possible, feeling the maximum stretch in the calf. If you cannot feel either of those during the movement, you're going too heavy. You do have to go as heavy as you can, but only if you can get through the full range of motion. Here you can see it from a different angle. When I go all the way up, you can see the split in the middle of the calf being created, and that's the contraction that you want. Really splitting those two calf muscles apart, forcing them into growth. And the only way to do that is to go heavy with full range of motion. And then at the end of every single leg workout, I like to do some stretching. I'm showing you a part of the stretches that I'm doing after each leg workout nowadays. I really do think it promotes muscle growth. It promotes recovery, so you're able to train legs more frequently if you allow those toxins that are built up during the leg session to be freed up by stretching the muscle fibers, and then walk around a little bit for 5 minutes, allowing blood flow to go through the legs, allowing the toxins to disappear, and then have a good meal for recovery, and drink a lot of water to literally excrete those toxins from your body. And that's what you should do to really recover faster. And really do think stretching helps a lot. So first I stretch the quads individually, and then I'm stretching the adductors. There are several different ways to stretch the muscle, so I'm just showing you one technique right here. There are more techniques, of course. And then lastly, I'm stretching the hamstrings. Back in the day, I wasn't able to even touch the floor, but what I'm doing right now is first touch the floor, put my fingers beneath my toes, and then stretch the legs fully, so I can really get a deep stretch in the hamstrings to promote injury prevention and recovery, especially in that area. I used to have a slight hamstring injury from doing Romanian deadlifts way too heavy, so that is completely fixed right now, partly due to stretching the hamstrings. Alright guys, that was the video of today, and I really want to thank you for all the comments you put on my last Q&A video. That really means a lot, that you put so much support into me and the brand of Vintage Genetics, so I'm really excited about the future. And guys, this is only one of the videos that I will be posting regarding the legs. I will be fixing the weak points. I was alone here, so I wasn't able to do squats to the max or stuff like that. So next time I will be training with my dad and possibly Kane as well. And then we're going to do some legs and really go heavy then to the max. But that's for next time. For now, I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.